Odeon Cinema, Leicester Square, and the press conference for Bellator London. Saturday night, June 22nd at Wembley Arena. We're all very excited about it. But before we go any further, I just want to hand over to the president of Bellator, Mr. Scott Coker.
Thank you, David. Excited to be here. Our team was in New York City last week. We had a great event. It's so amazing to be in the Garden promoting fights. It's something that I've always dreamed of, and it's our second time, and we'll be there many more times to come. We had some great fights. Chael Machida. It was a great fight for Machida. But to see Chael retire, it was something that was very touching, and I was proud to be his promoter for the last 3 years. He's a great ambassador for the sport. He'll continue to be our on-air commentary, which I believe he's here in London, and he'll be working on Saturday night. And we'll continue to have him out there and be part of the Bellator family. This past year, starting in January, we had the crowning of our heavyweight champion and the tournament winner, which was Ryan Bader. He also is our 205-pound champion. The fight at Madison Square Garden between Neiman Gracie, Roy McDonald. Roy won the fight. He'll continue on and fight for the championship between he and Douglas Lima. And that will be for the $1 million prize money that 50 Cent is putting up for his champagne brand. We're very thankful for that, and I'm sure the fighters are as well. And that will be sometime in the fall. And we're shooting for still a September date, contrary to what you guys have been reading and hearing. We're still shooting for that date. We have a couple of venues on hold. So it's been a big year for us. So far, we've had many fights, and this is a company, when I first started, was doing 12 events, 13 events a year. This year, we'll be doing 30 fights all over the world. Again, this is a company owned by Viacom Television, or Viacom Media Networks, which has networks and offices all over the world, so it makes it very simple in the sense that we get a lot of support whenever we go to different territories. We're looking forward to expanding in 2020. This year, with the success of the Bellator European Series, including Newcastle, Dublin, Birmingham, and here in London this Saturday, it just proves to me that the model of having localized events featuring local talent and sprinkling them with some of our top talent from around the world, but looking for the next star, looking for the next, big opportunity for some of the young fighters here in their countries. I think that works, and we're looking at expanding this localization into South America, Central America, Latin America, and Asia. We're talking about Australia, New Zealand eventually, but this is really the first opportunity, the first test we did, and we're very happy with the success that's led, and we couldn't have done it without David and his team, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Scott. And as Scott said, we're really looking forward to this, which is the third installment of the European Series for Bellator over here on this side of the pond. And of course, to go with all the success of Bellator and the growth in the US, it's been really good to bring in the European Series of 2019 over here. We've had two great events already. Start of the year, Newcastle, packed house, lots of energy. And we saw local boy and prospect Ryan Scope lose a really close split decision fight against Patricky Pitbull. And that sort of sums up the Bellator Europe Series for me. Great prospects, great talent, local boys getting to fight some huge names from around the world that we've got with Bellator, and we can bring them over here. Moved on to Birmingham, crazy fights, loads of finishes in the televised bouts to follow some great prelims fights earlier on. And then, of course, the Raymond Daniels knockout. I think last time I looked, it's doing about 25 million views, went viral globally around the world, so a great, great night. And then we're coming up now to Wembley, the third event, and obviously the biggest one so far, and it's likely to be the best MMA card you're likely to see on these shows for a long, long time. And, we're going to get a chance to see the fighters later on and talk to them. But I just want to recap on what will be a great night of fighting and talk about the fantastic viewing opportunities we've got on the night. I mean, I think it's a first for us. I mean, we've had a lot of success this year with our two broadcast partners in the UK, Sky Sports and Channel 5. And on Saturday night, you're going to get to see both of those in action. At 9 o'clock, we've got Sky Sports live with James Gallagher versus Jeremy Labiano. And of course, headlining that is Paul Daley versus Erick Silva, which should be fantastic fight up on live on Sky Sports at 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we cross over to Channel 5 for our European series, and then you'll get to see Aaron Chalmers fighting there. We've got Melvin Manoff and Ken Kauppinen, and then topped off with a world title fight, which we're really pleased for the first time to have on the European series, with Rafael Lovato Jr. against the current champ, Gegard Mousasi. So that's going to be a huge, huge night. Absolutely amazing card on Saturday. Still some limited tickets left if you want to get along to the arena. And as I say, if not, it's on live on Sky Sports and Channel 5. And before we go on to the fighters, I just want to announce today the 4th fight in the European series. And that's going to take place in September at a happy hunting ground for Bellator. We're going to be going back to Dublin. I think it's no surprise we've pretty much got every Dublin fighter or Irish fighter on the books with Bellator. And we're going to be going back to the 3 Arena on Friday, the 27th. So that should be a fantastic night. So expect lots of details coming up in the coming week on Bellator.com. Tickets will be on general sale next Friday, Ticketmaster.com. So check that out for some more fights. And we're also pleased to introduce our new broadcast partner in Ireland, which you've heard about this week, which will be Virgin Media, which will be showing the fight live, free-to-air in Dublin on that night. So, everybody, onto the card. So we're going to bring up our Paramount Sky fighters up to the table so we can all talk to them. And I'd like to introduce everybody to Mr. Fabian Edwards, Jeremiah Labiano, James Gallagher, Erick Silva, and Paul Daley.
How you doing? Nice to see you again. Nice. Paul?
So I'll just start off with a few questions. First of all, to Fabian, I think. Fabian, I mean, really quick turnaround for you. Great win in your hometown last time out. How are you feeling so close to the last fight?
I feel good. You know, I fought about 6 weeks ago, so I just went straight back into camp. Feel sharp, feel fit. I'm ready to go out there and get another finish.
Yeah, and you got Bazooka there. He's on a 5-win streak, 5-0. Someone's got to go, as they say. How's it going to go down?
I can see it being a first-round finish. I'm going out there to put the pace on him. You know, I've seen his style before. He hasn't seen my style. I'm looking to go out there, put a pace on him, and put him away early.
I mean, we've got so much pressure, I think, on you because so many people are excited to see you in this country, and you are named constantly as the biggest prospect in this country. Does that weigh heavy on you on this fight?
Nah, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. I think pressure is if you put the pressure on yourself, you can feel it. I've been 10-0 amateur, now I'm 7-0 pro. It's still all normal to me. You know, I'm going out there performing each time, no pressure at all.
Brilliant. Well, looking forward to that one. And Jeremiah there.
What's up?
How are you feeling for this one? It's a catch weight. Is that going to help you? Is it going to help James?
Shit, it don't matter, man. Any weight, 45, 40, 35, I don't give a fuck. I'm ready to fight. It's fight week, baby. Let's go.
How's it going to go down?
He ain't getting more than 2 rounds. Don't matter. Choke out,
He's
knockout.
going down.
Whatever. He's scared. Everyone knows he's scared.
Well, James, we know you're a 22-year-old shy, retiring type there. Waiting for you to come out your shell a little bit, I think. It would be nice to see the personality a bit more. But this is a part of the plan to get world champion, big fight. What's it going to be for this? How important is this on the road to stardom for you?
Yeah, I feel this one's going to play a big factor in that. I feel like I'm going to come out here and put on a clinic. I feel like you're going to see a lot of things that you have never seen before. And tune in Saturday night. So that's all I've got to say. I'm going to leave it in there.
Jeremiah's been saying all you've got's ground game.
Yeah, he can say what he wants.
Gorillas can't swim,
Yeah,
baby.
he can say what he
Gorillas
wants. It
can't
does not
swim.
matter. I'm going to step in there. I've prepared. So it is, and I'm
gonna
ready
take you
to
into
go.
deep waters.
And
I'm gonna
he's
drown your
he's
ass.
not going to put a patch on me, and he knows that himself. And he knows that when it goes to the ground, he's not on my level. He's not my level on the feet. He's not my level anywhere.
Not your level
and
on your
Saturday
feet.
night, we're going to see that.
Play the video.
We're going to see it. So it is, and yeah.
Play the video.
Yeah.
Video man, play the video.
Yeah. What you going to watch me get clipped after
Play
beating
the
someone
video.
for 2.5 minutes of one round? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
Not
see.
the hat hold you down and beat fuck out of you for fucking 15 minutes.
Well, we look forward to that, whichever way it
You're not
goes.
going to touch me.
And Eric, welcome to England. And how is it for this fight? You're fighting a fairly angry Paul, who just come off a close loss. What's your thoughts about fighting him in his hometown?
Edgy?
Is his mic on?
Ah, nada.
Oh, there you go.
Erick, ele falou como você está se sentindo enfrentando o Paul Daley. Você viu que ele estava um pouco perturbado antes na encarada. Como você está se sentindo?
Isso é normal. Eu creio que na luta as pessoas eles demonstram a ansiedade e o nervosismo justamente nessas horas. Eu estou muito tranquilo em relação a essa luta.
He says, I'm very relaxed, and moments like that is where you see the kind of pressure and the anxiety that my opponent's in when he reacts like that when you face off.
And he says it with a smile. Paul, obviously, close loss in that last fight must have hurt a little bit.
I'm not angry.
No, you're just looking happy today. You're looking relaxed.
Do you know what? Erick can say what he wants. That there was a bit of a performance for the cameras. On Saturday night, Erick's going to be in the cage with me, and I'm going to knock him out. You hear me say it again and again. 9 times out of 10, I do it. So Erick's going to find out on Saturday night what I'm all about.
How do you think the styles work out for you?
Styles work out great for me. I know he thinks I'm going into this with the idea that he's going to stand up and trade with me. We all know for a fact that he isn't going to do that. He has got a good ground game. He's a legit jiu-jitsu black belt, and he's going to be shooting from the time that bell goes, and I'm going to be ready.
Okay, I'd like to take it to the crowd now. Any questions for the guys? Got one at the front. It's dark out there.
Hi, question for Scott and for David. Obviously, putting a fight card together is a tricky process at the best of times, even more so for you guys when you've got multiple TV deals in multiple areas. Given that this event isn't live, the main portion of the card isn't live in the States, but we've got 2 live cards here in the UK. Can you talk us through the decision over which fights go on that live portion of the card? Because the chap on the end of the dais there, Fabian Edwards, is undefeated 7-0. He's only been to a decision once. He seems to just be producing highlight reel finishes every time he steps into the cage. I was kind of surprised when the fight card came out that he wasn't one of the guys set to be featured on the live card this weekend, because it would have seemed like a bit of a no-brainer to put a really hot prospect from the UK on that live card.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Again, there's some amazing fighters up here, and when you say it's not live, it is. You're right in the sense that in the United States it'll be tape delayed until later that evening. But this has been the norm for the last 5 years since I've been here, or since we've come to the UK, is that it's on Paramount on a tape delay basis, and that is going to be the same again on Saturday night. But I will say this. For 4 years, it hasn't been live here. So, I think that we've done a great job in trying to get all the clearances and get TV deals done here with Sky Sports, with Channel 5. So, to me, it has the best broadcast distribution partners in the UK than any league that's in the MMA business, period.
Absolutely.
And I would just add, thank you for pointing out. I thought we'd done a good job getting it live, and we had missed out on something, so thanks for pointing that one out. But no, obviously, Fabian's a massive prospect, but of course he was fighting on the last card as well, so he came into this quite late. And again, I keep coming back to who do you take off when you've already got a card like that? These other great fighters that we want to see. Obviously, James, Paul, huge fighters in the UK and Ireland that we want to see live as well. I'm sure we'll see lots of Fabian, who's on the card for Birmingham. We'll be seeing him in that broadcast anyway, and of course, all the fights on the prelim will be on the app. And you'll get a chance to see the full Paramount card as well, repeated on Sky Sports when it's out in the UK, in the US.
Yeah, I appreciate it. There's only so many fight slots you have to fill, but I just thought it was worth asking the question given Fabian's form. Quick question for Paul. We didn't get to chat to you yesterday, unfortunately. Coming into this one, there's a suggestion that You want to put the previous fight behind you. Would you see Erick as sort of an ideal opponent to bring out the best in you in terms of your fighting style? Do you think he's almost the ideal opponent for you to show the real Paul Semtex Daley on Saturday?
I'm prepared to fight anybody, you know. Erick Silva could have been anybody. I just want to fight. I want to bring in the money. I want to feed my family. And I want to put on fights for you guys, you know. Erick could have been anybody. It doesn't matter to me.
Got someone down the front here.
Hi, just over here in the middle at the top. I know you've mentioned obviously about the Sky Sports deal and the Channel 5 deal. You did touch briefly on the new Virgin Media deal with Ireland. Can you talk a little bit about that deal and the decision behind that?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously we've got huge support in Ireland, and, you know, we've had Channel 5, which was obviously a big result for us this year. So that obviously covers us in the UK for the live European shows. And then the Sky Sports deal was fantastic in that all of our international shows, all those great cards you get from Madison Square Gardens, Chicago, they're available to see in the UK and in Ireland on Sky Sports. But the omission there was the Channel 5 show, if you like. The European shows wasn't available live in the Republic of Ireland. And as you know, we filled up the 3 Arena, packed house. We got huge support there, a lot of fighters on the card. So we really wanted to give the fans in Ireland a broadcast partner that they could see all these fights, and Virgin's, you know, one of the biggest outfits out there. And the idea was just, as we've done before, as we've done with Channel 5 over here, is to create a big platform so everybody can see those fights. So it's really big news, I think. The likes of James fighting in Ireland on Virgin would be amazing, I think. I mean, it's a huge platform over there, so we're very excited about that.
And James, obviously they've just announced the Dublin card in September. I know obviously you'll be eager to get onto that one. Talk a little bit about kind of your experience last time headlining the 3 Arena and what it would mean to you to be able to go back and do that again.
100%. That was, I don't think there's ever been a show like that. Anyone who was at it will say that. The crowd, when I walked out there, the whole arena, there was, how many people was at it? 9,500 people or something? It was sold out at 9,500 people. People were like begging for tickets, and there was none left. Do you know what I mean? And just when I stepped out into that arena, I had anyone from Ireland that could go was there, and I had the whole place on their feet, and just that my hard work is paying off, and these people are coming out to support me. It means absolutely everything, and this is why I do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to secure my future and put on a show for the people that come and watch me, and I'm just one of these people. I'm just an Irish guy. I was into school, came up, fell in love with something, and ran with it. Do you know what I mean? And that's just where I come from. I'm just one of the boys. Do you know what I mean? And to be able to walk out there and at the point, the 3 Arena in Dublin, and bring the place to a standstill, that means the world to me. It's probably one of the best moments of my life, but it's going to be topped on Saturday when I cave this guy in.
Thank you. And then lastly for Fabian, this is obviously the 3rd European series that you'll be on, obviously Newcastle, Birmingham and now London. You also signed a new deal with Bellator as well. Can you just talk a little bit about your goals or your aspirations for your career with Bellator?
The goal is that gold belt. You know, I come in here, I'm looking at the champion, I'm looking at that main event, and I'm thinking that's what I'm trying to go for. So the goal is to clean up the division, and I'll work my way towards that gold title.
Scott, could you give us your overview, as it were, of how the UFC or how the Bellator series has actually gone so far? Because what I'm hearing is that it's been a success, but we're not really hearing like a game plan like moving forward in terms of forthcoming cards. Yes, you've outlined September, but how about moving forward throughout the rest of the year and into next year?
Yeah, I mean, this year we're scheduled to do 6 fights. Next year we're going to do 10 to 12. You guys already know we promote in different cities throughout Europe, which in 2020, I think we're going to include them in the European series. So it'll be a much wider series with much broader TV distribution throughout Europe. And when you say the goals, really the goal is this, is like you're looking at it right here. You know, We have, you know, great penetration, great reach, and we have great fighters. When I look at, just at this table here, look at the talent, and I look in the audience, I mean, there's so many, for years and years and years that I've been promoting, there's so much talent in the UK, so much talent throughout Europe, and the decision to break it down and go into the community, localize events, is really good for the up-and-coming talent, because they'll get there much quicker, and they'll have more opportunity to fight guys that are maybe ranked and get there sooner. So to me, this is already in effect and working. It's just how fast we want to get there. I mean, we're plugging along quite well, I feel.
Okay. And to James. James, I must say, it looks like online the criticism of you is almost at fever pitch, but you're still pretty vocal online. How are you actually processing all of that? How are you actually dealing with that? Or does that act as a motivator for you?
Neither. I just don't care. So it is, why would I care about irrelevant people on an app? That's absolutely mind-blowing why anyone would get tuned in to, like, get caught up in something like that. But what I'm doing is working. So you can see that. The numbers that they're all bringing in, the hype that I'm getting, the people that are tuning in, it's all working. So thanks to them for doing that. My plan is working out. So it is, and I'm happy that all the eyes, there's going to be over 1 million views on me on Saturday night. Do you know what I mean? And there's a reason for that. And that's because I'm good at what I do.
Hi, this is one for Scott and maybe David. During the week, what many regard as probably the best featherweight on these islands that isn't in Bellator was seen by a head of another promotion who dismissed him because he went for a very legitimate MMA move. Are you going to be talking to Brendan Loughnane?
You know what? I didn't see what happened. Somebody had told me about it, but you know, we were so busy with this fight card. I'll go back and check it out. But listen, if it's somebody that David wants to sign, then we'll support him. But I'm just really not on top of the situation that well.
Thank you. Question for Scott and David. In the past, there's been growth on these shores with big organisations coming in and kind of developing talent, if you like. But there's been a tendency when anyone's been really successful, they've been just taken over to America, really. So to what extent and how patient are you in building here and then continuing to have maybe 3 or 4 tent poles around the kind of regular series as well as you go on? Because that seems to be the way to build an audience here rather than burn them out on the other side of the Atlantic. I mean, are you aware of that, and do you think about that?
I mean, I think that, again, the localization of the shows shows that we are committed to the UK, we are committed to Ireland, we are committed to Italy, we're committed to different parts of Europe that we are going to localize the product and bring the best local talent. Now, I will say this. Some of these fighters will fight in America. That's just how it is. But then some of our big fighters will fight here. And some of the big fighters will be from the UK. I mean, we have tremendous talent, from top to bottom in the United States. And when I mean top to bottom, I mean in weight classes. But there's also a tremendous amount of talent here. So we're going to fight everybody. We're going to make fights that the fans want to see. We're going to make fights that are very interesting and that make good television. So at the end of the day, Gareth, it goes back to, look, we're going to localize the product. We're going to build the product. We've done tent poles here in London for many years. We did Bellator 200 here last year. I mean, Ireland is turning out to be a tent pole event on its own, seriously. And we've done big events in Italy, and that's going to continue. Next year, Stockholm is definitely on the books. So we will be going to Stockholm. We're talking to Amsterdam. And when I mean Amsterdam, we're talking to some local fighters, the local promoter. We're talking to Melvin over here. Yeah. But, we're broadcast on Viacom's channels over there, and we're talking to the main people, and we're pushing this ball forward. So there is a lot of energy, there's a lot of effort put into growing this brand throughout Europe. And it all starts here with the UK series, so, or the European series. So you're seeing the infancy of this, but it's not going to go away. And this is not something that we're just going to develop and take the talent, because, you know, we could do that already if we wanted to do it, right? But, you know, we're here to build this and make it, you know, make it something that's very sustainable for many years to come. But just to put a cap on that, Gareth, is like, you know, James is going to fight in America. You know, Paul, Fabian, these, you know, we're going to take these fighters to the U.S. But in return, we'll bring the fighters here as well, just like we are with Gegard and Lovato. And, you know, it's not going to be a one-way street.
Yeah, I would just add as well, I mean, you could never ever say, I take your point that people have come over, but you could never say that this is sort of Bellator light or second tier, if you like. You've got people like James Gallagher, Paul Daley on this desk, who would headline cards in their own right, you know, up with Gegard Mousasi, bringing a world title fight over to this country. And I think the other point is we want people to go to America, because that's the opportunity that the European Series affords. You know, someone like Fabian here, you know, he's getting a major platform. I'd love to see him go over to America and see what he can do over there. And I think that's what's really exciting about this series. It's a full-fat Bellator just on this side of the pond.
Thank you for very full answers there. Paul Daley, I mean, you've fought everywhere. You've, you know, caused all kinds of controversy. You're controversial in Fight Week always. You say what you're going to deliver, and obviously, for many people watching, you know, the way that you and Michael Venom Page fought was disappointing to some people, but interesting to other people that are really technically into the sport and felt you won because of the things you chose to do in the fight. But we having known you a long time, you really like to fight when you go out there. And, you know, there's an excitement, I think, about you and Erick Silva fighting, because he lays down, forgets the game plan, wants to fight, you know, that we know what he's like. So are you very excited going into this contest?
Do you know what? To be honest, he's not going to be like he normally is, because when I hit him, it's going to, trust me, like, I've been in the sport a long time, and very few people after I hit him once want to continue to stand with me. And 99% of the time, if they choose to stand with me after that, they get knocked out. You know, his chin isn't the greatest. He's not going to stand with me. I'll go out there, I'll go guns blazing, I'll be going to take his head off, I'll be going to kill him. But this guy, he's not going to stay standing. And if he does, he's going to end up unconscious very quickly.
Erick, how do you respond to that Paul Daley is saying that you're coming to London, you're going to be knocked out on Saturday night?
Erick, ele está falando como você responde a resposta que o Paul Daley falou, é que você não vai ficar em pé com ele, e quando você sentir a mão, você vai querer derrubar ele ou você vai ser nocauteado. Como você sente dele falar isso?
Primeiramente, fico até feliz assim de ouvir algumas coisas, e a luta só vai ocorrer no sábado. Eu acho que a motivação de cada um, quem escolheu isso foi nós mesmos, nós atletas. A minha motivação de estar ali em cima ali, independente de onde a luta se decorrer, eu sei que eu estou preparado. Ele tem várias falhas, ele tem o que falar, mas eu sei que o que tem para mostrar sábado vai ser mostrado.
He says, I'm excited that Paul feels that way. He goes, all of us have our path to get here, and we have our motivations, and no one can really say what's going to happen until Saturday night, and I'm excited to fight Saturday night.
Are you prepared to stand more and give us an exciting fight, Erick, in the stand-up against Paul, or are you going to shoot, as he says?
Você está preparado para ficar em pé com ele, ou você vai tentar derrubar como ele está falando?
Isso daí vai ser uma incógnita, né? Não tem como saber. O importante é estar lá em cima do ringue, do octógono. Aonde a luta desenvolver, para mim, vai ser melhor. É óbvio que a gente treina para onde a luta se desenvolva mais fácil. E essa é a ideia. Eu estou pronto para as duas áreas. Não tem problema. Se ele acha que eu vou para o chão, bom. Se ele acha que eu não vou querer trocar com ele, melhor ainda. Eu estou preparado para as duas áreas. Eu não treino só metade, eu treino tudo.
I'm prepared to fight, take the fight anywhere. If he wants to stand, then we'll see. If it goes to the ground, I'm prepared too.
Thank you. And finally, James, you know, as we know, this is going to be the Jimmy show on Saturday night, as you've stated already. And how important is it for you? I mean, just being in America with like a Tyson Fury trying to take over America and becoming a big figure over there, how important is it for you to become very well known in America as well?
100%. It's got to be everywhere. Do you know what I mean? You can't just be pit in one spot. Do you know what I mean? If that was the case, I would just stay in Dublin and headline every show and sell out every time. Do you know what I mean? But that's not my goal. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a big fish in a small pond. I'm gonna be a shark in a big in the sea. That's what I want to be, and I want to climb all the way up. I want to fight everywhere. I want to travel the world, fight in all the top arenas. I already fought in MSG 2 years ago, and yeah, it was a dream come true to step in there. Do you know what I mean? Like all the greats have fought in there, and for me to be able to do that was such an honor and a privilege to be able to have that opportunity. And yeah, I want to climb. I want to fight everywhere. It doesn't matter to me. I'll go anywhere and fight, and I'll put on a show everywhere I go, and I'll bring a crowd with me.
Question for Jeremiah. Right here.
Finally.
You've been scheduled to fight James twice already. And so, given that you've had that time to prepare for him, and obviously you're very skilled on the ground, there's been quite a lot of talk between you two that would suggest that it's probably going to be a bit of a slugfest. Like, do you think you have a game plan worked out, or are you just
He's not
waiting
going
to
to
see
want
where
to
the
slug with me.
fight
He knows
goes?
better than that. He's going to try to take me down. I'm going to stuff his takedowns. He's going to get tired. I'm just going to fucking knock his ass out.
And James, anything to come back with, or just?
Yeah, we'll see. What? Shut your fucking mouth. I'll
Shut your
come down there and
fucking
slap
mouth.
you.
Of course, he's going to headline all the cards in Dublin. Who else they got there?
You'll never headline a card in your life, so you sit there and shut your fucking mouth. How about that? You rat. You're lucky you're here, and it's because of me that you're here. It's because I choose you to come and fight,
Is
and
that
now you
right?
got your chance, or else you would have been back
Is
home,
that
not
right?
even signed to Bellator, doing fuck all. So sit there, shut your fucking mouth, show up and fight, and let's do.
I'm surprised you
shut
showed up.
Mate.
Finally. Took you long enough.
Mate, you sit there and shut your fucking mouth. You're a coach. You're a coach. Let your fighter do his thing. You sit and shut your fucking mouth. It's not your job. You coach him. You train him to come and
I don't
fight.
even know those
Now
guys.
you sit there and shut your fucking mouth.
I don't even know those guys.
Oh, mate, shut your fucking mouth. I've seen you walk around the hotel with them all week. It's your
Oh, so
coach.
you watching me. You
it's your
watching me,
coach.
see?
It's embarrassing
You
how
watching. You
unprofessional
watching. He's
that your
scared.
coach is
He's
sitting there
scared.
trying to act like a little fool
scared.
in the crowd.
My coach ain't even here.
Mate, he's sitting fucking there in front of me.
That ain't my coach.
These people are brain dead, aren't they?
I mean, you'd be
I
on.
feel sorry for them.
He'd be on my Instagram all day. You should know who my coach is.
Yeah, may have better things to be doing.
One quick one for Paul as well. Paul, same place. Having fought Rory and Douglas, who do you think was a tougher matchup, like when you fought them, and who do you reckon takes the rematch?
Rory was a tougher matchup. I've said that in a lot of interviews. You know, I think he's a special talent despite his mental state recently. You know, I've never really been in a fight where I felt like I couldn't win or turn it around. But, you know, I said leading up to the fight, I wasn't mentally where I should have been, and maybe it was it was Rory that had me feeling that way. You know, I'm quite, like I say, I fight anybody, but I was a little bit, I admit, a little bit intimidated when I was fighting Rory, so I probably didn't perform to my best. Douglas Lima, on the other hand, he's a big guy at welterweight, extremely tough. He seems to be getting better, and yeah, I'd like to fight Douglas Lima again, but the current Douglas Lima, I think, beats Rory in a rematch, and I think he probably stops him.